After releasing a more affordable Galaxy Note 20 to the expensive Note 20 Ultra, Samsung is now doing the same with the Galaxy S20 series, and its Here Fan Edition we've taken up for review here. Could the Galaxy S20 FE be the best price to value phone that Samsung has ever released and a superior answer to Apple's $700 tier? It certainly is for 2020, both on paper and in our review, marking a shift in Samsung's flagship phone strategy. Intended to be a cheaper version of the S20 series with all the right compromises and corners cut, the Galaxy S20 FE is priced at just $699 at launch, and every carrier or retailer seems to have a nice deal on it too. This actually is a great value and makes the S20 FE one of the cheapest phones with a flagship Snapdragon 865 5G chipset on the market. On paper, the S20 FE has the other specs to match too, such as a 120Hz OLED display, a triple camera with a 3x telephoto optical zoom, and a big 4500 mAh battery. Where then has Samsung cut corners to achieve this amazing pricing? Let's find out. If someone had told us a few years ago that we would be longing for the days of plastic phones, we'd call them nuts. But now that metal phones went the way of the dodo because of the wireless charging requirements, well, save for the Pixel 5, but that one cheats. Our only premium material option left seems to be glass or ceramic. As we have all learned at some point, such phone bodies are the most prone to shattering, Gorilla Glass phones notwithstanding. This is why we welcome Samsung's decision to house the Galaxy S20 FE in the glass-stick body of its upper mid-rangers, or the Note 20. They're at once cost-saving, make the phone one you don't always have to baby, and a third added bonus, lighter than glass phones with similar screen sizes. Moreover, the glass-stick material we all know and have learned to love from Samsung looks and feels just as premium, and in the case of the S20 FE, Samsung has painted it in a rainbow of flashy colors to choose from for every taste. If there was something we didn't like about the S20 FE visuals, it's the relatively thick bezels on the sides, but that's if we compare with the S20 series, while if we do with the terrible ones on another popular $700 phone, the iPhone 11, they are downright elegant. The phone is also certified to survive at least half an hour in up to 5 feet of water. Holding the Galaxy S20 FE and using it with one hand is pretty easy, as it is rather thin and narrow, plus the lock and volume keys are sturdy to press and right where they need to be. Thankfully, the slow ultrasonic finger scanners of the S20 series are now replaced with a regular optical one on the S20 FE, and it is all the better for it, as we're happy to report that it seemingly unlocks a smidgen quicker and in a more reliable manner. As for the S20 FE display quality, the only compromise Samsung has made is lowering the resolution to 1080p from the Quad HD Plus of the S20 series, and again, it is all the better for it, as the battery life is much better with no pixel density sacrifice discoverable with a naked eye, unless you look at it from very close. The display is also very bright and suitable for outdoor viewing, has a 120Hz refresh rate mode that makes scrolling and interface animations appear smoother and easier on the eyes, but its colors are somewhat on the cold and saturated side, and that is its only drawback. Moreover, the screen is flat, which throws off a back gesture navigation game a bit compared to Samsung's curved edge panels, but that makes it cheaper to replace, less awkward to use with interface elements at the edge of the screen, and much easier to install a protector on. Speaking of which, the S20 FE does ship with a screen protector pre-installed, but there are no earphones or case in the box, just the charging brick and the cable. With the Galaxy S20 FE, Samsung is again pulling off what it has been chastised about for a good while now: different chipsets for different markets. While the US gets the good stuff, Snapdragon 865, the global S20 FE makes do with Exynos 990. Not a bad processor per se, but its auxiliary features and thermal throttling performance are below Snapdragon 865 on the mobile chipset totem pole. As if to cushion the predictable backlash, however, Samsung has not only split the European Galaxy S20 models into a cheaper LTE only and 5G versions, but also provided a middle LTE option with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. Compare that to the 6GB of RAM and 128GB of the 5G model that is the only one available in the US and Europe, and the Exynos issue suddenly seems like small potatoes. When it comes to the interface, the Galaxy S20 FE alas ships with Android 10 and One UI 2.5 out of the box, Understandable, given that Google just released Android 11 to the manufacturers, and Samsung already has One UI 3 beta with it rolling out that will make its way to the S20 FE in no time. Samsung has also promised 3 years worth of software updates for the phone, making it on par with what Google promises for its own Pixel line. So besides Android 11, the Galaxy S20 FE will also get Android 12 and Android 13, keeping it relevant way into 2023. Samsung has equipped Galaxy S20 FE with flagship-grade triple camera kit that includes 12-megapixel main and ultra-wide shooters and an 8-megapixel 3x telephoto optical zoom camera as well. At 32 megapixel, the front camera is not too shabby either. Where this setup gives way to the Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus is their 64 megapixel zoom camera, but Samsung actually uses the high resolution there to achieve crop zooming rather than have the real telephoto zoom that the S20 FE offers. In fact, there is a negligible difference in camera performance between the S20 and the S20 FE, as you can see from our camera samples comparison. The S20 Plus kit rarely has an edge in zoom detail, even as it crops from a high resolution, and the phones produce excellent results in terms of colors, detail and definition overall, be it sun or dusk outside. The only immediately visible difference between the two cameras is that the S20 FE camera software is set to produce slightly warmer tones with more contrast overall, and that's what users usually prefer. As for sharpness and definition, there are several examples in the comparison where the S20 FE actually managed to focus better. Look at the flower and the zoom, the baby seagull cameras. When recording video, Samsung's dual phase detection autofocus in the camera sensor makes refocusing back and forth between near and far objects seamless during video recording, and the 3 mix capture excellent stereo sound that weeds out background noises. The very good stereo speakers then relay that recording with powerful and rich, at least for a phone, sound, and call quality is also rather good. In the spirit of cutting corners at the right places to arrive at that sweet sub $700 price point of the Galaxy S20 FE, Samsung equipped it with a battery size of what the S20 Plus or Note 20 Ultra carry, but none of the extra screen pixels they have to power. Thus, we clocked more than 12 hours of screen on time in our browsing and scrolling battery benchmark test, which is one of the best results in its class. What's even more impressive, however, is that the high 120Hz display refresh mode doesn't take nearly the toll on battery life as it does on, say, the Galaxy S20 Ultra, and the S20 FE managed to survive over 10 hours of browsing and scrolling with the maxed out refresh rate. That's a pretty good sign that the phone can last you a day and a half to 2 days with normal usage, and we commend Samsung handset for pulling this off, flagship processor and all. On the flip side, a compromise was made with the charger, as the Galaxy S20 FE ships with Samsung's 15W instead of the newer 25W chargers, yet the brick pumps the battery up from a depleted state very quickly, plus you can always use a faster charger. In a nutshell, with the Galaxy S20 FE, Samsung has now caught up to the Chinese brands when it comes to both charging speeds and battery life, and for a very affordable price in that. So we can wholeheartedly recommend you pick this phone up at the store. It's one of the best value for money ratios we've had the pleasure to review this year. This was a Samsung Galaxy S20 FE video review. Check out PhoneArena.com for more information on this and other handsets. Thanks for watching.